Pinar de Rio, Sungrown Habano, Liga Cubano nombre 5. Number 5. Hey, right, located in this cigar vlog. So, Pinar de Rio, originally a region in Cuba where they historically, if not mistaken, have grown some of the best tobacco for cigar production, but seeing as how you don't get Cuban in the United States without jumping through a couple hoops, there is a squirrel over there that is being an annoying pain in the ass, and I'm about ready to just check a rocket and get him to shut the hell up. Well, anyway, we can't actually get Cubans here without jumping through a couple of hoops and paying a ridiculous amount of expense, so I'm thinking that the reason why they decided to name this Pinar de Rio is because, well, that's the qualities they're trying to replicate. Is qualities of tobacco from that particular Cuban region. So if we're lucky, we'll end up getting a somewhat Cuban-esque flavor profile. Make sure I'm actually in frame. Be nice if my camera would actually focus for a change. I don't know what it is about coming out here. There's always some little critter, be it a bird or a squirrel, that always has to squeak like a crazy little just nut job. Squirrel, nut job. And just be an obnoxious little pain in the butt the entire time. Alright. Alright, so straight away I noticed the aroma coming off of this is just like straight up classic cigar smell. You know, like you walk into the cigar lounge, it's the first thing that just punches you in the face with just like, hi, how you doing? You're in a cigar lounge. I think I have a hole here somewhere. Flavor-wise, yeah, good clean tobacco, a little earthy, no spice. Oh yeah, I think I may have a slight wrapper error somewhere around here because I'm getting a little bit of a overly loose draw. That, or this is just a really loose drawing cigar. Well, anyway, decent start so far. Earthy, clean, inviting. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to go ahead and smoke this down to the first inch and see if I can figure out what the hell is going on with this thing. Alright. I'm also going to get away from squeaky. Okay, so getting into about the first inch here. So far, any kind of earthiness is kind of dying down, and there's this really nice sweetness going on in the background, a little subtle toasty note. Overall, it turned out to be very, very good. I still haven't figured out what in the world is causing that particularly loose draw. I don't know if I just got a loose example in the first place or if there's a hole somewhere. It sounds like there's a hole. You know, it's very silly, but you hear something that sounds like, you know, it sounds like there's a leak. Where it is, I have no idea. But anyway, I'm going to keep poking around and see if anything kind of accentuates once we get towards the halfway point. But construction on this is absolutely phenomenal. It's a torpedo, but big, huge cap, so it's kind of difficult to cut too much off of this one. And aside from the occasional, I'm not too sure if I have a hole somewhere, which might actually be my fault. So far, yeah, construction looks pretty good. I think I spotted the problem there. I don't know if you can see that on there, but I think I found where that little hole is, so I'm going to try plugging that off camera because it's going to require both hands and figure out if that's what it is. But so far, other than a weird construction issue, which I'm not entirely sure it's a hole in the wrapper, it may actually just be the fact that I handled this a little roughly. I'm not sure, don't quote me on either way, but I'm going to figure out what exactly is going on because for something like this particular brand, I mean, construction should be top tier. And so far it seems to be, except for one little screw up, which looks like it may have gotten a little over dried and flaked a bit. Well, anyway, I'm going to get back to the halfway point. Yeah, I found it. There was a hole. Tobacco beetle. So this doesn't have anything to do with the actual construction, this has to do more with the storage. Somewhere, I need to be a little tobacco beetle, got in there, and just... And for some reason, somebody decided to pull the wool over my eyes by sticking a big old paper band on it. So, I'm going to go ahead and stick my finger over that and see if this maybe gets a little meaty flavor from burnt beetle. Okay, managed to get to a pretty decent halfway point here. Make sure there's not some wacko walking around trying to interfere with my video. I always like to point that out because the last time I was out here, I actually did encounter somebody that apparently had a problem with smoke in an open field. Okay, Karen. Well, anyway, so far, flavors of this have been absolutely wonderful. Reminding me very much of just coffee and a cinnamon roll. You know, coffee in a bakery, something like that. There's good coffee notes to it, nice sweetness, a little breadiness to it. Just absolutely lovely. The only real problem I have is this hole by this fucking beetle. So you're probably thinking to yourself, tobacco beetle? Ew! Is that gonna be a problem? Well, no, not really. It's not like there's gonna be just like this swarm of bugs just exploding out of your cigar and eating your head. Basically what happens is a bug will get in there and just gnaw his way through the cigar. Usually they'll overeat and just die. Now if it's a particularly fresh one, or particularly moist, you may get a popping noise when you actually you know, burn through it and smoke the cigar, and you know, it goes. But typically you just get like a little bit of weird smoke that's a little discolored, and that's it. You probably won't even taste anything. At least I hope you wouldn't taste anything. Ugh. But anyway, the thing about it is, I don't know if this hole was intentionally covered up, or if they put the band on and then that bug somehow got in there. But for a cigar as nice as this, you really should not be fudging little things like this by sticking paper bands over it. If you got a hole in it, that's a defect. There should have been a second. That's just all I'm going to say about cigars with holes in them. That said, sometimes it just happens. And there's a bicyclist. I don't know what it is about this state. Everybody is like out either on a bicycle or walking the dog, or like power walking, or just doing something, and it's like, haven't you people ever heard of video games? Seriously. Stay out of my video. Well, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and smoke this down. Hopefully this hole is not going to be too much of a problem towards the end. I'll give a final update from there. Okay, this looks like a pretty good point to wrap this up. And I completely spaced out looking both ways before checking to see if there was a Karen in the wild lurking in the bushes trying to jump on me. So anyway, so far flavors of this have actually been very, very nice. It's been a good core of clean tobacco, a little bit of coffee note, a little braidiness, and here comes somebody on a bicycle. I'm going to go ahead and wander over this way so I can wrap this up without getting bombed too bad. It's like they know. They always know. I'm on camera. They see me talking into my phone. Hey, let's go be in this guy's video. Right, so anyway. Yep, kids looking at me. Keep on driving, buddy. I really need to find a better place to film these. Anyway, flavors have actually been really good. Good clean tobacco, a little touch of earthiness, very sweet, not like sugary sweet, but just like a nice subtle sweetness, a little breadiness to it. Kind of like cocoa note in the retrohale. Overall, very good cigar. The only real mark I can put against this one is that beetle damage. Now I'm gonna say, don't let beetle damage be a determining factor in whether or not you buy these, because out of the entirety of the cigars that I've smoked, pretty much ever, I've had exactly 2 that had beetle damage. And we're talking like thousands of cigars, okay? So, I'm not going to hold that against them. I am, however, going to point out that you might want to make note that Pinar and Gurkha, these are the only 2 beetle damage cigars I've had, and both of them covered it up the same way by wrapping a band over it. I'm going to say that if you have a damaged cigar, first off, I don't actually know the circumstances of why you decided to stick that in a bundle or a box or whatever, but if it's got beetle damage on it, it should be sold as a second or given to an employee. That's my take on it. But anyway, that aside, definitely give them a shot. Just Watch out for bugs. Anyway, that's pretty much all I got to say on this one. If you like this review or any other review, if you like this review or any other review, like, subscribe, leave me a comment, let me know if you had a different experience, or if there's anything you want to see reviewed. Beyond that, check out my Twitch stream, Sundays and Wednesday nights, midnight to 2 a.m. And I'm going to start throwing in a 4-hour stream at 10 my time. So that's going to be mountain time. Anyway, that's pretty much all I got. I'll see you next time.